hello out there wherever you are. As for me, it is very chilly. It's very gray. A very gray, chilly Saturday in the Pittsburgh area. Happy 4/12 day. It is April 12th, 2025. It is the opening day of Kennywood Park. Now, hope springs eternal in old Kennywood land, as there's been some major changes in regards to ownership of Kennywood. Kennywood has been purchased by, I believe it's Hershend, is that the pronunciation for that? The ownership group behind Dollywood, behind Silver Dollar City and Branson. And it'll be interesting to see, for a long time I've kind of associated Kennywood with a similar ownership situation as the Pittsburgh Pirates. Ownership that says they care, that wants to improve the park, but do they really? But with this new ownership group, very exciting times. Mostly good, some potentially bad. We're going to get into that. Now, the hope being is that they'll have a little bit more transparency than, say, Palace or the European group behind them had in previous years. They'll also probably make some improvements in the park. These are all very good things. For me personally, I need to know where in this park are we putting the cinnamon bread stand? Dollywood has cinnamon bread. Silver Dollar City has cinnamon bread. Kennywood better have some cinnamon bread, is all I'm saying. And you can put it in any kiosk you like if you want to add it this year, and I will promptly grab it. But it won't be true cinnamon bread until you build a little cabin or a little mill somewhere in this park that makes cinnamon bread on the daily. This can be achievable. This can be done. So I'm looking forward to this new ownership group and these new changes. Now, no, let me also dispel the rumors. I'm no expert. I don't know anything by any stretch, but Dolly Parton did not buy this park. And you will get no Dolly slander here. That woman's a national treasure. But, the ownership group behind the other half of Dollywood that Dolly doesn't own did. They are open to criticism, should criticism be warranted. So far, new ownership, I'm going to hope for the best. My concern, if there was any concern besides the improvements, besides hopefully the transparency, besides hopefully the cinnamon bread, is that they are a family entertainment park. And as such, none of their parks have a nighttime Halloween event. So the hope being is that Phantom Fall Fest, for all the criticisms I've given it, is still around for years to come. And I hope that's the case. I hope that is something that they do salvage out of this. But we'll see what the future holds. In regards to immediate changes, Thomastown is no more. Thomas the Tank has, gone to one of the many billboards that are on the Thomas the Tank ride, and they've moved on to a different, I don't know exactly what happened in regards to Thomastown, but I had to think, does Dollywood or Silver Dollar City have intellectual properties? Do they have any outside things like a Thomastown? I don't think they do. I don't think they have any characters other than their own homegrown characters, which makes me concerned, I guess. Not concerned, but I don't think there's much long in the future for Steelers Country. I think Steelers Country will be going away, and what a missed opportunity that was of what it could have been. So it'll be like the black and gold zone or something like that within a few years. If you saw the changes made to the Steel Curtain logo, it looks very AI generated. I like the original one better, but that's just me. But with Kennywood Junction, which is taking over for Thomastown, how are they going to replace the immersion that was the 4 billboards that represented different countries of the world for Thomas to go? I'm hoping that the old Kennywood Railroad is like the old Kennywood Railroad, the one that had Joe Magnarak, the big statue that's outside Edgar Thompson across the river over there. A little bit more immersion, some scenes you can, take the train through. That would be nice. That would be nice. So we're looking forward to an interesting Kennywood season, although it's very cold today. I don't know if I'm riding anything. It'll probably be the train just to see what they did, and that's about it. It probably won't be a roller coaster considering how cold it is today. But let's step inside Kennywood Park for the opening day of the 2025 season, and Tom was here.
Hey, I'm Patrick Fabian, and you're watching TomWasHere.
Do not expect any large crowds today. as you can well tell. It is very, very cold. These troopers that are riding the Phantom's Revenge today, man, good on you. It won't be me. It won't be me. It's way too cold. I don't need to be hurling through the air at 82 miles an hour, wind in my hair that bad. That's a bold ask when it's 42, feels like 35. Not great. Not great. So, we're going to be looking around for some changes, and it's all fairly new to me. I didn't actually go to the park too much last year. I went to opening day, and maybe one other time for a bit, and then for Phantom Fall Fest. So, I have to go more this year, but like I said, mostly new to me. Haven't tried out the new bumper cars. Still haven't rode Spinvasion. It's been like 2 years, so it'll be all new to me. It's very exciting. So looking forward to see what we get into today, but there will be no Spinvasion today. Maybe a bumper car. Maybe I'll do some bumper cars. We'll see. All right, we are here. We are in Kennywood Park. See how it goes. Oh, Kennywood. Allow me to thank you on this one. The mobile ticketing. I used to have to stand in that processing pass line for it was always an hour each opening day. I would never come like a fool to the earlier times when they were open, when they were closed, and I could go get my stuff. But mobile ticketing, walked right in. Oh my God, that line's still just as long. Hey, we're back in the tunnel for a new season of Kennywood excitement. Looking to see what all they have cooked up for this year, to see if there's any noticeable changes. Like I said, I didn't come too much last year, so oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Now it's official. Now it's official. All right, we have yet to talk about the steel curtain. Some assembly required to put this one together. If you drove past some of the parts they had for these reinforcements, man, there was a lot of parts. So hopefully this will be up and running this season. They did say this summer. I'm guessing Memorial Day. That's usually when they reveal all their openings for the year. Still a crane over there, so it'll be interesting. Hopefully this will be, fixed for years to come. But when you make a record-breaking roller coaster, like roller coaster's never been attempted before, there's been a lot of issues. Let's put it that way, a lot of issues. You can see some construction is going on. Here's the new steel curtain logo. I personally like the old one better. It's not doing it for me. Maybe I can warm up to it. I don't know. But yeah, this right here. And I'll criticize it each time I'm here because it's just, they could have easily built a section. They could have built a section that could have lived even when this was down. But they didn't. And this very large section of the park is promptly tied into steel curtain, which has been off and on and more off than on running. So it would be nice to see them flesh out this section of the park. It really would. It'd be nice to have like a game day feel, have some nacho stands, show some Steelers highlights, have that restaurant you put money into open over there, have some games that you were supposed to have over there. But alas, completely closed up because steel curtain is. Now, I understand because there's construction as well. Let's be fair here. But, the days when there weren't any construction trucks here, you could have made this into a viable section of the park. But that did not happen. I think there's exactly one person on the Aero 360, and this man's wearing shorts. Like I said, the real feel outside is like 38. I know it's Pittsburgh, but you don't have to stereotype too much, Pittsburgh. Come on. Yeah, I wouldn't be riding Aero 360 in 30-degree weather, but like I said, I'm old. I'm an old man, so maybe it's just me. I do like that they're bringing back the stunt show. I didn't get to catch the stunt show last year, but looking forward to seeing what they do. I know there's also like a water stunt show. Man, I'm from the old school when I used to remember the human cannonball on the Kennywood stage. You know what I mean? That was the good time. So looking forward to seeing the stunt show this year. I'm definitely going to be in attendance for it for sure. I see they got a little scavenger hunt here for the kiddos. That should be interesting. That's fun. We're coming up here on the new/old edition, the resurfacing of Thomastown into Kennywood Junction. It looks fun. I'm sure just a couple little facelifts and changes and things, but yeah, not bad. I will be riding the train. I've decided I'm riding the train. It's new after all, to see what's doing over there. So, all right, time to take a ride on the old Kennywood Railroad. Let's see what's doing in this new railroad. Wow, that's a good sign. Parkgoers here taking the train. Yeah, they're not shooting water on the fire ride, which is interesting. You got this little like cookie decorating station, little birthday party hut here. That's cool.
Onboard audio on the train would trigger like at random. You just hear like horses from the train. I think I was training somebody and then all of a sudden I hear horses running. Oh, they brought that back. Oh yeah, that thing. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jillian, Kennywood's operations manager.
This is the voice of Kennywood.
Great real names.
Okay. I'm Joel, and besides being the voice of Kennywood, I've been one of the parts electricians for about 3 decades. Now, let's talk a little bit about the history of Kennywood Park.
Okay.
You are riding on a piece of history. The engine pulling this train was first used in 1939 at the New York World's Fair. It was sponsored by the Gibbons department store, and that's why this train has become known as the Gibbons Flight. The coaches and themes of the ride have changed over the years, but it took its first ride here at Kennywood in 1945.
We should start at the beginning. Our story begins way back in 1818 when Charles Kenny purchased the land that would one day become famous. The land became a popular picnic spot known as Kenny's Grove around the time of the Civil War, and on December 18th, 1898, the Kenny family leased the land to the Monongahela Street Railway Company, officially creating our small trolley park.
You know, it was Pittsburgh businessman Andrew Mifflin who picked the name Kennywood.
I did know that, and the Parkside Cafe and the Carousel Burger Company are the only 2 remaining structures from that period.
In 1906, the park was sold to 2 families. Those same families owned and operated the park into the 21st century. And you can still find their names here in Kennywood Junction if you know where to look.
In those early years, visitors enjoyed picnicking under the many trees, taking a leisurely rowboat ride on the lagoon, and watching shows at the bandstand. The favorite attractions in those days were the dance hall and the Speed Oak Plane roller coaster, along with our oldest operating ride, the Old Mill, which was built in 1902.
During the Roaring '20s, Kennywood added some popular rides that you can still take a ride on today. Our current quick ride opened in 1926, followed by the merry-go-round and the turtle in 1927. We also went a little coaster crazy and had 3 coasters designed by John Miller. The Jackrabbit, Racer, and Pippin all use the natural topography of our land, and each has its own uniqueness.
This is also the decade that the famous Kennywood arrows were first seen to help travelers find the park. In 1930, Harry Traver designed 2 new rides for the park, the Auto Race and the Laugh in the Dark. These would be the last new attractions for many years because of the Great Depression.
Many parks had to close. Kennywood survived due to the dedication of its guests and employees.
You worked here back then, didn't you?
I am not that old.
Admission was free in those days, and many people spent their days playing skee-ball in the Penny Arcade, dancing in the dance hall, or enjoying zoo-related attractions like the Monkey House. There were also many appearances by popular band orchestras and other local personalities.
Eventually, the Depression subsided, and in 1936, Kennywood built a new walk-through dark ride, Noah's Ark. Ironically, this was also the year of Pittsburgh's great St. Patrick's Day flood.
Out of the Depression and into the war era, World War II was a driving force in the 1940s. Kennywood's own radio station, the Voice of Kennywood.
I recognize that name.
I'm sure you do. But this Voice of Kennywood would broadcast news from the front lines of the war from the middle of the market.
1941 provided some much-needed laughter with the debut of Laughing Sal. And the post-war baby boom saw the addition of the Little Dipper roller coaster and an expansion of Kittyland, which was one of the largest in America. And as the nation entered into the television age in the 1950s, so did Kennywood. Our band shell became host to many celebrities of the day: the Lone Ranger, Clarabelle the Clown from the Howdy Doody Show, and my favorite, the Three Stooges, just to name a few. That decade also saw the addition of our fall fantasy parades and the fondly remembered kitty cat dance.
The 1960s and 70s were challenging times for Kennywood. With the emergence of theme parks, Kennywood had to make big changes to the fleet. We saw the addition of the popular gas-powered turnpike ride in 1966. Then in 1968, with the demand for a new roller coaster and no room to build one, Andy Vettel redesigned the Pippin, creating a more thrilling wooden roller coaster called the
Thunderbolts. It was ranked as the nation's best in the New York Times in 1974. In 1975, Kennywood made the decision to build its first $1 million ride, the Log Jam. This helped launch us into a new era. We also decided to retire the popular characters of Henry and Howdy Doody and create our own mascots, including Kenny Kangaroos and Jeeters. But do you know the most important addition to the park in this era?
Of course, it was the Potato Patch with its world-class french fries.
We opened in the 80s with our first steel coaster, the Laser Loop. We added many other rides to our lineup, including the Gold Rusher, Pirate, and the Wave Swinger.
In 1985, we replaced our music plaza and the Little Dipper with the Raging Rapids, and in 1988, the park was immortalized by Rick Seaback's WQED documentary, Kennywood Memories. We also added to our family in the 80s by getting 2 sister parks, Idlewild and St. Louis.
The 1990s brought to life with the addition of the world's fastest roller coaster, the Steel Phantom. We also added our biggest expansion to date, Lost Kennywood. You know, lots of people notice that Pittsburgh is spelled without an H on the entrance door, but that's not a mistake.
Nope. This was named after English Freedom Park from the turn of the century, and that's how Pittsburgh spelled its name at the time.
Lost Kennywood brought the addition of the indoor spinning coaster called the Exterminator and the 251-foot-tall Pitfall Drop Tower.
This is also when we were first recognized as the National Historic Landmark and when we celebrated our 100th anniversary.
It was time for the turn of another century, and using techniques we learned on the Thunderbolt, we adapted the Steel Phantom into the Phantom's Revenge in 2001.
We also added other new thrilling attractions like Air 360, Skyrocket, and Black Widow.
The year 2002 saw the end of our old tradition of closing on Labor Day. During Phantom Fall Fest, our family-friendly park transforms into a haunted thrill experience after dark. Starting in 2011, guests could enjoy millions of lights and even some of their favorite rides in the winter at our Holiday Lights Christmas-time celebration. In 2019, Kennywood again became home to the state's tallest and fastest coaster with the debut of the Steel Curtain.
In 2022 and 2023, we celebrated our 125th birthday with park-wide enhancements that celebrated our past while looking to the future. While a lot has changed over the years, one thing never will. Kennywood is a place to escape from the hustle and bustle of everyday life and create new memories together.
We hope you enjoyed your ride on the old Kennywood Railroad. We look forward to entertaining you and your family for generations to come.
Just got off the old Kennywood Railroad, and what I can say is this fits the theme of the park so much better. Cool to tell the history of the park. I always wanted them to do that with the Kennyville Historical Society, which was my idea for the 4D theater, but that's selfish on my part. But you know, they have a lot of tradition on there. They have the old kitty Cadillacs that, man, I grew up, you know, I know, don't let the gray hair fool you, I'm a dinosaur. The kitty Cadillacs I rode many a times in this park. The Turnpike I rode many a times in this park, Log Jammer. So it's cool to see those old ride vehicles there. Makes me feel hopeful for a potential return of those rides, at least in some form or fashion, but cool to see them as part of the Kennywood Railroad. I think it's a vast improvement over what they did with Thomastown. I'm sure the Thomastown steam engine was not cheap, but you know, as far as like the billboards a lot better, showcasing the history of Kennywood, works so much better than what Thomastown was. So a vast improvement, thumbs up. There's the old Gimbals Flyer in all its glory. The old, or named after the Gimbals department store, of which my mother was an employee at the time of my birth, in the old Monroeville Mall. So cool to see the old Gimbals Flyer back in action. Like I said, Kennywood is at heart a traditional park, and I think this fits in that tradition so much better than kind of Thomastown did. I understand what they were trying to do, and my apologies to any Thomas enthusiasts out there, but this fits the theme of the park so much better. Just this whole area is, you know, a minor facelift on some of these rides, but it kind of fits in more with the Kennywood traditional crowd, which, you know, like I said, Kennywood was in a crisis for many years. They had to decide if they were a theme park or a traditional park. And maybe with this new ownership or these changes, they're kind of trying to weave their way back into a traditional park with some theme elements. So, from Manny Brothers, we hardly knew ye. Man, what was this, up a year? Maybe less? Now it's a new dining experience coming soon. Man, they didn't I wonder if it's another thing of like the new ownership not having any like outside properties as part of their park. Could that be the case? But yeah, this didn't last long at all. Looks, based on what I've seen, that most of the rides that aren't like water rides are running. Exterminator up, Black Widow is up. Exterminator got a nice 35-minute wait time. Robust wait time. There's people waiting outside for the Exterminator. I think for like years the Exterminator was kind of forgotten about, and now now it seems like people have found it again, and that's like the new spot. Like The wait times based on my visits have been real long for Exterminator, so I feel every bit of 40, but beyond 40, but way too cold to be riding this. Way too cold to be riding anything today. It's crazy. Wow. I know they have the games in this little barn thing, but or maybe even Permanis. Could that be potentially a cinnamon bread stand? I'm gonna hammer home my need for cinnamon bread in this park. Make it happen, Kennywood. Make it happen. Well, I figured it's been here a year, so maybe we should stop off at the Carousel Burger Company and actually try out one of these burgers and see how it is. Very curious to see. I wanted to come up here every time I went to Kennywood last year and never got a chance to, so we're gonna try it out. Look at this monster we're dealing with here. Very, very nice. Presentation's good. Hopefully it tastes as good as the presentation holds. All right, look at this monster here. Maybe I shouldn't have went double. I'm still, I lost some weight, particularly in the face area. If you've watched the channel for a while, you can probably tell. But yet when it comes to eating, especially in like park situations, I'm like, oh, let's get the biggest burger I could possibly find. The fat kid mentality's still there. Oh my god, I can't even fit my... This is crazy. Okay. Not bad. No, I thought Johnny Rockets was okay in its initial iteration when it was here like the first few years before it kind of like fell off hard before they replaced it. This is like roughly around the same kind of quality. I mean, you're not going to get like a grade A quality burger at like a theme park, but it's not bad. It's not bad. It's pretty good. I would get it again. Let's put it this way. Fries are good, crunchy. I don't like a soggy fry. I know a lot of you do, but not me particularly. Give me crunchy fries over soggy fries any day. So that's good, and the burger's good. I'd come here again. I would try out like the shakes, but I'm not gonna mess with that today. I just wanted to grab some food and go. But maybe I flew too close to the sun with this big burger. Let's put it to you that way. Well, I guess it helps that I didn't eat anything today. Probably won't eat anything later. This feels like a brick in my belly. But pretty good. Like I said, not too bad. I've had worse theme park burgers. I've had better theme park burgers. So this sits somewhere in the middle for me. But it's eatable. It's good. It's not too overly expensive considering you're in a theme park. It's like somewhere in the neighborhood of 14 to 17 bucks depending on what you get. Of course the drink is additional. And I thought I got a souvenir cup with my gold pass, but I'm not sure where to pick those up. I'm going to have to go look into that. Well, righted a lot of Kennywood wrongs from last year. This is also my first time actually riding in the Potato Smash cards. I didn't get a chance to ride in them at any point last year. And I have to say, I don't know if it's the lap bar or the, it doesn't feel like they have the same level of pickup that the older cars did. I understand they want to limit like head-on collisions and stuff like that, but I used to get like a nice like bit of speed when I would avoid accidents, because for me that's the only way to ride bumper cars, is to avoid all collisions possible. But I felt I didn't get the same level of pickup. It also seemed, I don't know, it could be just my car, but like I had foot on the pedal the whole time, and there's times that it would just like it was like shutting down. So I don't know, they're fine for what they are, but maybe I missed the old ones. Like the handling was pretty good. I was able to get out of a few traffic jams, pretty good handling on those, so no complaints there. A lot harder to navigate. The older ones were harder to navigate once you got into like a big pile up, but these ones seem to move pretty quickly when you spin out, so that's cool. But I don't know. Like I said, not the same level of speed. Maybe I could be wrong. And what's a trip to Kennywood without a little Noah's Ark? Am I right? Am I right? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh. Noah, you're looking rough. Remember, he had to get 2 of every animal on here. Mosquitoes and everything count? Does everything count? Ooh. We got lions and monkeys. Ooh. What the hell? Is this a thing that always existed, or? Oh, okay, yeah. Alright. Alright. Oh. Stairs moving still. Awesome. Floorboards moving. Exciting. Oh yeah. Alright. Fun, fun, fun. Zebra's still farting? Oh yeah. Oh, that was a ripper. Yeah, little jackal. Through there somewhere. Oh shoot! It was so dark I didn't see someone up there. Oh, I ran right into that person. I didn't see them at all. Wearing all black. They were trying to camouflage themselves. I was not prepared. Not prepared in the least. Sorry. I wasn't planning on coming up to someone like that. I was ill-prepared. Ill-equipped. Alright. Alright. And we made it. And with that, we put this bow to this quick Kennywood visit. A little jaunt in, a little jaunt out, and now we are on our way. Well, that'll do it for the opening day of the 2025 season of Kennywood Park. And I just realized I hit the almost hit the senior citizen trifecta today. Well, what'd you do today, Pappy? Well, I ate. I rode the train. I was a lengthy bench sit away from hitting the full-blown senior citizen trifecta. God, I'm old. Yeah, that's about the extent of what I did. I mean, it wasn't too bad. Let me clarify. I did ride the train. I was curious to see what they would do with the train. And although they have the same kind of billboards that Thomastown had, they do have some, billboards that show kind of old Kennywood pictures. And I was happy to see the little kitty Cadillacs that I remember when I was growing up. The turnpike cars, a log jammer flume, the log jammer sign, which looks better than ever. Although I do like that Kennywood history, and I do like the audio that kind of explained the Kennywood history, doesn't it kind of make you feel sad? Doesn't it kind of make you want to just ride those rides? Like, what I wouldn't give even a ripe old man of 40 something to ride the Turnpike again, to ride the Log Jammer again. I get nostalgia is a big thing, and you want what you can't have and all that fun stuff, but man, it would have been nice. So as much as I like the old Kennywood Railroad, I like seeing all those old rides, it does make me feel nostalgic for when I used to be able to ride those that I can't ride anymore. But I also righted some Kennywood wrongs, some things that I wanted to get to last year, didn't get a chance to. I ate at the Carousel Burger Company. It was okay. It you know, it was it had a nice presentation to it. I may have flew a little too close to the sun. I gotta remember I have lost some weight. I can't eat like I used to eat anymore. Every time I attempt to, my mind still has that mentality to want to do that, and then when I actually attempt it, it's like, whoa, I feel it every which way. So, although, like I said, it was pretty good. So put it middle of the road. I rode the bumper cars, the Potato Smash, for the first time. I did not get a chance to ride it at any point last year, and I felt it doesn't have the same oomph maybe that the old ones do. Maybe it's just me. I feel like they're slightly slower. Am I the only? Could that be just me, or do you think that's a possibility? I think they are slightly slower, but you know, they had a nice, like, when I got in a few jams, I was able to quickly navigate out. So the handling's a little bit better, but the acceleration not so much. Did a little jaunt on the Noah's Ark. Took a little Noah's Ark trip. Everything was working properly. Sat down, you didn't see this in the video, but it was on Facebook Live, with Chuck from Kennywood Crazy, and did a little interview, a long anticipated interview that I dropped the ball there, so thanks, Chuck, for having me. Listen, a lot of you, incredible amount of people stopped me today. And I gave out a bunch of stickers. I may not even have hardly any left. I brought a good bit. I just assumed like maybe one or two or whatever. I didn't expect like multiples of people, like you know, beyond 10 stopped me today and say they watch the channel. It means more to me than you could ever possibly know. Like I said, when I started this, it was a hobby. It was just kind of a little time capsule, really, and to give an excuse to get myself out there. I never assumed that any of you would watch, so thank you so much for watching. It means the world. But yeah, Kennywood, you know, hopeful under new ownership that it could, you know, some new interesting things could happen. Very curious to see how not just this season, but seasons beyond will be affected. It'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting. Curious to see when Steel Curtain's going to open. I feel like Memorial Day, that seems to be where Kennywood puts kind of all their summer openings, is Memorial Day if they can do it. I don't think they should have a big grand opening kind of like they did for Kennywood Junction today that I was too late to see. Because even though Kennywood Junction's kind of a facelift, like it's not like new rides. They just took the Thomas faces off and put other faces on. And then he took the Thomas tank and replaced it with the old Gimbals flyer, which is cool. Yeah, don't do a big reopening for the Steel Curtain. The Steel Curtain, it should just hopefully be open one day. You know, I looking forward to seeing how that goes, and hopefully this will be the last of its issues and it will work for many years to come. But that'll do it for Kennywood Park opening day of the 2025 season. Guys, thanks so much for watching. If you are new here, make sure to like, share, subscribe. If you'd like to support me on Patreon like John Bailey, like Brett Persing, like Fayen, you can do so. Link is in the description below. If you'd like to buy a t-shirt, including this old 2023 TomWasHere Halloween Haunt shirt, because it was particularly cold and this is a very warm sweatshirt today, you can do so. Link is in the description below, as well as links to my eBay store, Facebook page, Instagram, TikTok, whatnot, Arena Club. All the links are in the description below. And when it comes to Kennywood Park for the opening day of the 2025 season, I can very much say that my name is Tom and I was here. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Bye, everyone.